All right, looks like we're live. Let me check the group. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. It is David Thomas. Something in my eye. Mr. Jay Woolwide.
That's your eyeball.
That's what
it's in there in your eye.
Nothing I can do about that, I guess.
I got you.
There we are. We have sound. Perfect. All right. Well, welcome, everybody. We're going to jump in here as we always do to give you, 10 or so minutes of motivation, inspiration, and education for the week. We do this to help you become a better version of yourself and help you reach your goals. What I did not do is tag everybody. Let me do that. Quick.
Might as well just quit.
Can't find good help nowadays. All right, so there we go. So hope everybody's having a good week. We appreciate everybody spend the next few minutes with us. So today we're going to talk about 8 tips for self-improvement. All right, 8 simple tips, and these, they're not going to be blow your mind. These are simple things. Simple things to do are also simple not to do. All right, so personal development is a lifelong process, but it doesn't have to take you more than a few minutes to start improving yourself. If you're familiar with the 2-minute rule, we talked about, a little bit about this the past week, is that any goal can be broken down into smaller tasks. So some of these small tasks that take, less than 2 minutes to accomplish, they are much more likely to get you moving towards the larger goal and those ambitions and those outcomes, those accomplishments. So if you will just applying that method, that thought process, and you will take those 2 minutes out of your day to perform one of these tasks we're about to talk about right now, it's going to vastly improve your overall well-being and your goals, your journey to your goals.
All right. Did you freeze?
Jay, Nope. Jay's going to start us off.
Yeah, you froze on my end, but I don't know
sorry, my bad.
It could be my end. So I thought I was going to have to run the whole show.
Yeah.
All right. So number 1 is pretty simple, right? And it's something that we all do, but we could probably all do more of it. And that is just simply to drink more water, right? A glass of water might seem like the smallest of baby steps, right? Like it's pretty simple. Like we all need water, but most of us just don't drink enough, right? And even if it's just something small like that, right? It's still a step forward, right? It's a small improvement in the right direction. So a lot of us don't really follow that recommendation of, drink 8 glasses of 8-ounce glasses of water a day, right? 64 ounces a day is like the recommendation. And even that, I mean, really, if you read a lot about it, even that's not enough, right? Your whole body is like, what is it? We're like 80% water or something like that, or
something like that.
Yeah. I mean, all of everything, our cells, everything are water-based, right? all the electrons and everything that's flowing through us, we're electrical too, right? And then that's the conduction, right? If you don't have water in you, you get dehydrated, your body just starts shutting down. And you need that water basically just to function, right? Just for your bodily functions to keep you healthy. And if you don't have enough water, then you become dehydrated. You can get headaches, fatigued, all kinds of problems stem from being dehydrated. So a lot of people are dehydrated and they don't even know it, right? So, I mean, I always start my day, I get up and I guzzle like 30 ounces of water. And I was going to Google it. I forgot to, but I think I read one time, like you lose like 16 ounces of water in your sleep. Like just when you go to sleep for 8 hours, well, not that I get to sleep 8 hours, but but if you get to sleep 8 hours, you could lose like 16 ounces of water in your sleep, right? Just from your body, just sweating and evaporation. So it's just so important to replace that stuff. So one of the things that will help with that is, you can drink 8 little glasses, or you can kind of get it in your face, right? You've seen those big jugs. Michael used to have one that said, I don't know, it was like a gallon jug or something. It had like all these marks on it, like you're halfway there, like you're almost done. Like it had all these markings on it. And just, I don't have one of those, but just having more water in front of you will remind you to drink more, right? And I found that having something like an oversized jug or something like that, getting some in right away helps you down that path. So that's number 1, drink more water.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, speaking on that, I personally keep, you guys see me right here. I personally keep a full glass of water near my desk at all times. And, I drink it like crazy all day long. The secret, like Jay said, is to keep it full. Even if it's not, don't let it get all the way down to the bottom. Like when it gets halfway, fill it back up again. And it's a psychological trick because it's called the availability bias, where your brain is thinking, oh, there's just so much there. I need to keep drinking. And so you just continue drinking more water. I mean, a downside to this is obviously you're going to have to go to the bathroom a lot more, right? But it does make a substantial difference in your productivity. You could literally tell the difference between, you feeling parched and thirsty and dehydrated to how much you can actually produce while you're trying to do your work, and your energy levels for that matter. So definitely that's a massive one.
I know I just thought of this in the past when I've been on like weight loss diets, like they say like the water like flushes your system. Like you have to have that water is like the lubricant that the fat burns off and leaves your body with. So anyway, number 2 is to eat whole foods, right? As a general rule, the fewer ingredients, probably the more nourishing the food, right? If you can't pronounce it, you probably shouldn't be eating it. I took David to a restaurant that I really like called Chipotle, right? It's just a Mexican, they call it Quick Mex or something like that. But like they don't have, it's like In-N-Out Burger, right? They don't have a freezer on the premises, right? They don't freeze their food. Everything's fresh, right? Everything's brought in fresh. It's all just regular ingredients. You could name every one, right? It's chicken, it's corn, it's whatever. I mean, there's nothing processed. Everything is just food, right? And it's that type of food will give you more energy. You'll feel better if it's not processed, right? It's the processed foods that will get you just enjoy more things like fruits and vegetables. We don't really like vegetables, but we like or fruit or nuts. We like meat. Eat more meat. Have you ever? I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever eaten Chipotle, but I really like it. So anyway, just eat things that you can actually pronounce, right? Cut down on the chemicals, dyes, other ingredients, and things that you can't pronounce. I suggest taking a look at your next meal, right? Look at the label. How many ingredients on there could you actually identify? Do you know what those things are? And if you don't know what you're eating, then more likely you're going to ingest something that probably is going to make you feel sluggish. I haven't had McDonald's in like 20 years, but the last time when I was eating it, I remember we call it the food nods, right? Like you eat and all of a sudden like you get like the food nods. And that is literally like how that food makes you feel, right? It makes you feel sluggish and unproductive. And it's just not the direction you want to go, as opposed to good foods that will give you energy, right? Once you get in that mindset of food as an energy, it's a fuel for your body, you'll start feeding it better fuel.
Yeah, I mean, that's massive. I mean, as a lot of you guys know, we're on the carnivore diet or high meat, high protein based diet, low carbs. But when we switch to that, it's just, it's mainly whole foods, right? Steak, salt, chicken, salt, it's just, that's really like all it is. It's salt, there's salt in there. But it's so crazy how clear you become and how light you feel. Like you think what it's like to feel good. But once you switch to whole foods, you really truly start, feeling incredible. So that's a big one. But let's move on to number 3. We're only 3 in and we're already 8 minutes in. So number 3, practice daily gratitude. And this one, obviously, you hear a lot from us. Is positivity, gratitude will really help like melt away the stress that you feel when you're down. An attitude of gratitude can show you the light and keep you from feeling that you've hit the bottom. So with a clear mind, a grateful mind, you'll be more likely to move forward. It's been proven time and time again that people that are primed with gratitude are more likely to reach their goals. I mean, just that alone is worth the practicing of gratitude. For some people, gratitude is a difficult thing. It's something that you can start doing, is keeping a small journal next to your bed, right? And each night, whenever you go to sleep, just write down just maybe 2 or 3 things that you can be grateful for. You're grateful for your spouse. You're grateful for your kids. You're grateful for your health. You're grateful for your job, your car. You have the ability to put gas in your car, those kind of things. And before you know it, you're going to have a notebook full of things that you are grateful for. So you'll start to understand how truly, see, little daughter come in, grateful for her. There she goes. There's little Evie. But you'll start to understand how truly important and a positive and grateful mindset is for becoming successful, and how that's going to help you reach those goals, that much faster. It's actually crazy the amount of studies that can hold this down, that prove this point. So definitely gratitude's a major one.
I know we're running late already, but I was just thinking, like, I remember one of the most important things I learned about gratitude was, like, you can be grateful for crappy things that happen, right? Like, those things help you identify what you do want, right? It's not just always a bad thing. So anyway, moving on. Number 4 is pick up a book, right? Or listen to one, and honestly, it's better if you could read a book. There are other things that happen in your mind when you're physically reading something and your brain's translating that stuff. But I haven't read a book in years. I listen to everything. I listen to Audible all day, every day, hundreds of books a year. But if you can cut down on screen time, right? Looking at a computer, watching TV, any of those things will help, right? And you can always learn something from reading. You can pick up a new vocabulary word. You can learn about a new topic. You can reinforce a habit. I mean, they have e-readers now and Kindles. Audible is what I use. Makes it easy to carry around the power of books with you, right? Wherever you are. Or you can just curl up on the couch and read. My wife's a reader. She loves to just sit there and read. Maybe you don't have 2 weeks to read a whole book, right? Just start with 2 minutes, right? Then maybe you can work your way up to 10 minutes a day or 20 minutes a day, however much time you have. And if you don't know what to read, ask your friends and family. Ask us. If you're following us, you know what we're reading, and it's about personal development, trading, those types of things will benefit you. So all it takes is a quick click online. You can queue up some books in your tablet or your Audible, and you'll always have stuff ready to go. And it's kind of like it's what David said about the availability bias, right? You do the same thing with water, right? If you keep a lot of options around you, lots of books around you in whatever form, then you'll be more tempted to use them, right? As opposed to, having them tucked away in the library that you never walk into.
Yep, absolutely. So that was number 4, read a book. Number 5, and this is something that I've been doing more recently. And also I've been trying to, we've been trying to obviously digest a lot of material that we can then pass on to you guys as well. So I've been listening to a lot of TED Talks. Right. It's crazy the amount that they have, or maybe you prefer consuming something inspirational with audio, which is fine as well. But you can find their TED Talks on YouTube. There's a great variety of speakers that they have, crazy amount of topics that they have. So obviously a lot on personal development and, business building and all things related to that. So if you're interested in a topic, I guarantee you they have a TED Talk on it. And maybe you're open to anything. You can just scroll them and then something that kind of just, catches your fancy. But you can really explore a whole world's worth of different topics with, those TED Talks from, happiness, something about happiness to urban planning, biology. It's crazy the amount of videos they have. So, it's a way to kind of broaden your horizons and introduce some new topics to yourself.
Yep, for sure. All right. Number 6 is to forgive somebody, right? Forgiveness. We've all been on both sides, right? We've been on the victim of a wrongdoing at some point. And we've all made mistakes as well, right? And if you had made a mistake, you probably would like somebody to forgive you, right? We've had to work on forgiving other people. We have to work on it. Even if you haven't directly asked for forgiveness, right? You want them, like, you want that feeling that they forgave you, right? You don't want to carry that anxiety around. One of my favorite sayings is, holding a grudge is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die, right? It's literally like you're the only person that grudge is hurting, right? You have to let it go. And even if, like, I can think of a particular person in my head that I held a grudge against for a long time.
It's not me. It's not me.
It's not David. David probably knows who it is. I finally let it go, right? Because it wasn't hurting him, right? Like, he didn't even know I was mad at him. Probably he's probably like, he's over it, right? I was the only one that it was hurting, right? You have to just forgive, right? Just let it go, even if it's just for your own health. You have to forgive people.
Yep, absolutely. So number 7 is one we already got you covered on that one. Join a group of supportive individuals. So obviously you have our community, you have this, Facebook group. It might be hard sometimes, though, and difficult to accomplish your dreams alone, right? And in fact, it's definitely, they say, what do they say? You want to go fast. They want to say you want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go with the team. So when you're supporting yourself with other like-minded individuals, it's going to help you to reach those goals long term. Words of encouragement and additional resources can help you find the opportunities and boost your mood, boost your motivation to help reach those goals, or maybe stay in the fight when you're discouraged and you want to quit and things like that. So where do you find groups of individuals? Obviously, we have a community ourselves for our trading community, right? We also say it's some other topic. There's Facebook. There's even something called Meetup, right? That you can. They're great resources to find supportive people and communities and events, groups that are becoming more popular way to reach other like-minded people, connect with them. So, for instance, when I became, started the carnivore way of eating, what did I do? I found a Facebook group, right? Where people have been in there doing the carnivore lifestyle for literally 20 years plus, and they know a lot more about it than I do. So in the beginning, you have all these aches and pains because your body's transitioning and your gallbladder can't, it's like, I've never worked before. Now I'm having to do some work. Right. And so you start posting in there, hey, I think I'm damaging my gallbladder. And they're like, no, it's normal, and they ease. And then guess what happens? They're exactly right. Right. The pain goes away and you start loving this kind of way of eating. That's one example of what a community can do for you. Like in our trading community all the time, what do? People that have been there and done that can help those that are coming in and experiences these little hiccups that you're going to experience in the beginning. So Facebook groups, Meetup, but groups are an awesome way to help reach those goals for, that you're trying to get to.
Yeah. I'm sure you remember me messaging you, hey, how come my whole body's sore? I feel like I got run over by a truck. And you're like, oh yeah, that's called the keto flu, right? That's your body's burning off all the last of the carbs, right? So anyway, it helps to have those resources for sure. All right, guys, last one, number 8 is congratulate yourself on this growth, right? You're going to take some time out of your day to do something small, right? A couple minutes a day, right? Just do one of these tips. You don't have to do them all in a day, right? but do something, right? And if you don't forget to, reward yourself, right? And that could be one of those like gratitude things, right? I'm thankful that I got on the Zoom today and I learned something that I can do to improve myself, right? I mean, it's just all those little positive reinforcements will encourage you to keep going and growing, and it'll give you something to reflect back on and see where you came from, right? And that reinforcement comes from inside, right? So just take a moment, reflect on what you've done to improve your overall well-being, plan to complete more tomorrow, right? In the future. And the more consistently that you can contribute to that self-improvement, the faster you and the rest of the world is going to start to see those results in you from your doing that work on yourself.
Yep, absolutely. Awesome. Well, that was our 8 tips, and that even though it was just 8 tips, goodness, it took us about double the usual time, but that's okay. Hopefully y'all got value from this. We try to make these quick. We don't want to take up too much of your time, but it's definitely, if you took notes, hopefully you did. You can go back and watch this. Like we said, apply 2 minutes, the 2-minute rule. Start implementing at least one of these tips, and you'll see an improvement in your life. I guarantee it. So hope you get value from this. Hope you have a great weekend. Jay, appreciate you as always, brother. God bless you all, and we will see you all very soon.
See you guys.
Take care.